And let's invite everybody from the other room to come on in and take a chair so we can start the program. I want to welcome you all here tonight for the fundraiser for the Invisible Children of Los Angeles. And it's so good to see you all here. We got a great program. And before I introduce Mariana, who's making the film, producing, directing, and hosting tonight, I want to bring up quickly Lydia Brazon from the Peace Center. Where's Lydia? Where's she? I just saw her a second ago. Where's Lydia? Well, anyway, the Peace Center, which are here, and the owner of the Peace Center, so for those of you that don't know, Eris Anagnos died a few months ago, and Lydia, and he has bequeathed the Peace Center to all of us. Lydia can tell you more about it, but Eris was a great man. All the events here are free, and Eris was a great man. And this is Lydia, who runs the Peace Center. I'll just say a few words, and then we're going to bring up Marianne and start your program.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that Eris, who passed away January 23rd, and he was the founder of PATH, which most of you may know. In fact, one of the buildings is named after him. And nothing would have warmed his heart more than being here for this particular event. Not only did most of what he worked for and gave away was for homeless efforts, not just here but internationally, and it was one of the nearest issues, the closest to his heart, in addition to all of the international issues that many of you know him for. And so, you know, it breaks my heart that he isn't here to see this, but thank you so much. In terms of housekeeping things, restrooms downstairs and upstairs, it looks like you need a key, you don't. And please, when the event is over, eat as much pizza as you can. And salad. And have a great time and dance away later. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Lydia. Well, I'm Frank Doral, and Mariana has asked me here tonight to introduce her. How long have you been working on this film, Mariana?
Almost 3 years.
3 years of hard work and dedication to this issue that's so important to all of us. And tonight we're raising some more money. We have a great program here with Senator Leon here, and music and everything. So Mariana has been, her work has been to counsel cancer victims.
Yes.
The bathrooms are open, by the way, downstairs.
Cancer participants.
Psychotherapy.
Yeah. And this is her first time making a film, I believe. And so I want to, and I'm long time friends with Mariana. I want to thank everybody for being here, and I want to bring her up now, Mariana Palmer. And all the kids are here. And the kids of the film are all here. And media candidates here.
Get up there with Mariana. Go on stage. Go on stage. Get up there.
Hey, yes. Hey, come on, right over here. Come on, you guys. Yeah, okay. Well, I don't know if this is working or not.
Yes,
Is it working? Oh, great. Yeah, hi. We actually would like to welcome all of you to, Leslie, you ready? I think she wanted to take a photo of you. We would like to welcome all of you to Invisible Children of LA's second and final fundraiser. We're in post-production. So we're going to have a little change of schedule. I was going to tell you the structure. The kids are going to read some poetry, which is going to be very beautiful. They haven't seen it yet, but it's going to be great. But we're not doing that right now because we are having our keynote speaker, wonderful. What, honey? That's okay. Ozzy, come on up here. You're supposed to pick her up, him up, right? I think. He's fine. And this is Ozzy. Let's give him a hand. He is the youngest in the film. And so what I was about to say is I was going to let, many of you are here that don't know the history of the film. Well, I'm going to tell you the history in a little bit later because we're going to start out, we're changing the schedule as I mentioned. And we're going to start out with hearing from the wonderful Senator Kevin De Leon, who is featured in our trailer. It's amazing. And he's going to be featured, and he's going to be speaking first. And then I'm going to come back And if we have time, I'll tell you a brief history of the film, which I will, and then the kids will read some poetry, and then we have some wonderful people here speaking. We have Chris Browning, the actor, speaking, and we also have Ron speaking about a project in LA about homelessness. And do we have any other speaker that I might be forgetting? Of course, and then it's going to end with Selena's speech, and she is the one that we have filmed the longest, the 3 years, and we started filming the other families a little bit later. And then we're going to show the lovely trailer, and then Mimi Kennedy and I, the wonderful actress, and not too close, you know. Not too close. And also, I don't like this man. And he helped me out, the wonderful Urs Bauer. He is taking place of 4 men that weren't here. So thank you very much for that. He is actually the executive director of the Topanga Film Institute. Let's give him a hand. So we are going to get started with the most amazing state senator. As you know, he's running, as all of you know, he is running against Dianne Feinstein, who we all know is very tied into the corporations, military, etc. He is running against her. Yeah!
Thank God!
So I'm very honored, I think this is a little loud, I'm very honored to introduce Senator Kevin De Leon.
Well, good evening. Good evening. How are we feeling tonight? Great. I said, how are we feeling tonight? There we go, there we go. First of all, a couple things. One is I want to give a very special thank you to Mariana for this incredible project, for this love of labor. I remember when we met for the very first time, you came to my office in Echo Park on Sunset Boulevard. You discussed about the invisible children of Los Angeles and this idea, this project of a documentary, what it meant to you, and you asked if I would participate. And we know that this is a crisis that has metastasized to a different level, unlike anything we've ever seen before. So to Mariana, I want to thank you very much for your incredible stewardship, for your love for all of our children here in Los Angeles. Let's get up for Mariana, please. I know you'll hear from Mimi Kennedy in a few moments as well too, but Mimi, I want to thank you very much for your incredible leadership. I'm just going to say a couple things here tonight. It's indeed an honor and pleasure for me to be here with all of you, to have an opportunity to share a few words with each and every one of you. You know these are very unprecedented times in our nation's history.
Unprecedented is the right word.
These are in fact very dangerous times in our nation's history. And that's why more than ever it is so important that we defend each other, that we stand up for each other, that we protect each other, that we back each other up. That's why it's more vital than ever that we remain America's exceptional example, a beacon of hope and opportunity in a very uncertain world. Yeah. That we're not going to allow one electoral aberration reverse generations of progress. Yeah. At the height of our historic diversity, our scientific advancement, our economic output, and our sense of global responsibility. I'm looking at this room, and this room is California. And California is America before America is itself.
Yeah, that's
right. And today we are fighting for the soul of our country against a party that has sold its soul to a president without a soul. And that's why I believe that during these very poignant times in our nation's history, we defend those who have no or little voice. We defend those who are the most vulnerable. We defend those who are the most marginalized. And I appreciate this beautiful mosaic, this incredible tapestry, so many different hues here today. Because in this great state, at least as long as I'm in a position of power, we celebrate our diversity. We don't ban it, we don't deport it, and we as sure as hell don't wall it off. Not in a great state like California. So, let me say a couple things. Spider-Man just gave a little The issue of homelessness, which has always been an issue, but it's metastasized to a different level now, unlike anything we've seen before. It's a moral issue, not just a political issue. It's a moral issue, because we are the wealthiest state in the wealthiest country in the world. California today is the 5th largest economy on planet Earth. There are only 4 economies larger than that of the state of California. The United States of America as a whole, in the aggregate, China, Japan, Germany, and then our great state, the state of California. And if you are remotely interested in sort of rounding up the top 10, it is United Kingdom, it is France, it is Italy, it is India, and it is Russia. So California's GDP, our economy is larger than that of Vladimir Putin's Russia, to put this in context. But we know that our economy is not working for everybody. And that's the point I want to sort of
It's working for
underscore.
Lockheed Martin.
It is not working for everybody. Because the fact that we are the wealthiest state, the wealthiest nation in the world, and that we have so many folks who are living without a home, without a roof over their head. We have so many chronically homeless individuals with very severe mental illnesses, whether it's depression, whether it's bipolarness, whether it's schizophrenia, whether it's all of the above. We have individuals who have come back from abroad, who have served our country. And shamelessly, our national government has not stepped up to do the right thing, do right by them. We have individuals who have been victims of assault in some form, way, or shape. And to numb their pain, to numb the deep pain inside because of lack of services, access to mental health services, psychotherapeutic services. And by the way, we all need psychotherapeutic services in any form, way, or shape. In any form, way, or shape. In any form, way, or shape, to deal with every issues that we carry ourselves. We all carry our own issues. And for folks who've never had the opportunity because of our national healthcare system, or I should say because of our healthcare system, our balkanized healthcare system, without access to quality healthcare in terms of dealing with the issues that we carry inside, mental health, we have folks who numb their pain, not with the services that they need, but rather they do it through illicit drugs or through alcohol or a combination thereabove. And you know that when you start abusing it, it gets to a certain point when you rewire yourself altogether. And we've seen many folks who ended up homeless. Not just folks at the lowest economic strata, but folks who come from very wealthy families have ended up on the streets. Then because of the issue of housing and the crisis, displacement and gentrification, we see families with children and single mothers with children, ending up living in a car, a shelter, or on the streets altogether. This is immoral. Again, the 5th largest economy in the world. And that's why I give so much credit and recognition and love to someone like Mariana for bringing this to light and speaking truth to power, through this document. Here in Los Angeles, we are the epicenter of homelessness in the nation. That serves as a form of shame and a national embarrassment for Los Angeles, that we are. And that's why it is my hope that a documentary such as The Invisible Children will bring to light that we need a sense of urgency to move forward the measures Let's move forward the measures to improve the human condition for all individuals, regardless of who you are, regardless of where you come from, regardless of the hue of your skin, regardless of which God you pray to, regardless of who you love, and yes, regardless of your legal status. Because we're all human beings, and we deserve dignity and respect. So, instead of voting for wars and spending $6 trillion to date of taxpayer dollars, sending our men and women abroad, we should be investing in the greatest asset we have in America, which is our people.
Yes.
Giving them health care. Medicare for all, not Medicare for some. The right to breathe clean air to their lungs and drink clean water. The right to have a roof over their head. And give their amazing children a wonderful opportunity for success. Preschool, K through 12. And a real opportunity to succeed, to go on to higher education, whether it's a Cal State, a UC, whether it's a private, independent, nonprofit college. Because we know we have that pipeline, if you will, from school to prison, which we need to shatter, destroy altogether. Because what we need to do is stop sending our children off to Vacaville and Folsom and Chino and San Quentin and Pelican Bay. And we need to send our children to Cal State LA and UCLA. Give them the tools to be empowered, to be productive citizens. That's all we ask for, is opportunities. Real opportunities to succeed. Knowing that we live in a very stratified society. And that to help correct the inequities that exist in California and throughout the country, all we need to do is give real opportunities for success. That's all. Listen, I know this because as the youngest child of a single immigrant mother with a 3rd grade education, I wasn't a valedictorian. I wasn't a summa cum laude graduate. But it was this woman, a single mother, and any single mothers in the house, I want to give the props and respects and a shout out to all the single mothers in the house. The reason why I say this is because we know that single mothers play the role of both mother and father. They play these joint roles. And they fight and they struggle to keep their families intact. So to the young men and women, to the young children here today, let me say this to all of you. Always be proud of who you are. Always be proud of where you come from. Never, ever, ever be ashamed at all whatsoever. Never be ashamed. Use this as a source of strength to empower yourself and to know that you want to be better and you deserve to be better and you will be better. But the one thing that counts the most is never be ashamed of who you are and where you come from, regardless of your circumstances. Because you are somebody and you deserve the dignity and respect. That's what you deserve. And never let anyone take that away from you. Never let anyone take that away from you. You gotta have the audacity that you belong. That you belong. I would never have become a state senator, let alone the leader of your California State Senate, if I didn't have the audacity. Or my mother didn't have the courage of her convictions to cross a border, to seek a life, a better life for herself and for her family. Or to have the audacity to challenge a 25-year incumbent for the U.S. Senate.
Thank you.
Have a voice, a progressive voice for it's that audacity that makes us a great state and a great country. It's that audacity, it's not entitlement. It's not privilege. It's not your bloodlines. It's not your zip code that should determine your future. Tragically, we know it does. We have all the empirical evidence of that. We don't need anecdotal evidence, right? But that's why you're going to be a disruptor of the status quo. Challenging the establishment authority. Saying the same old of how we deal with children who are indivisible or invisible. You're not invisible to us because we care about you and we love you very much. And this is as much as a moral issue, a legal issue, as much as a political issue. It's a political issue of people in positions of power and making the decisions, the priorities, and how those priorities are manifested through your core values. Now, if you think that war is important, then you vote for war. And as a consequence, then our taxpayers' dollars go to war. If you believe that GOP tax cuts are important and giving the wealthy and corporations a bigger break, then that's what you do. It's manifested through your votes. If you believe that a border wall is important for national security, then that's what you vote for, because it's manifested through your votes. But if you believe that healthcare for all is important, not for some, if you believe investing in our homeless children is important, if you believe that access to higher education and debt-free college education is important, if you believe that immigration reform for all of our hardworking immigrants who pledge their allegiance to red, white, and blue, who deserve to become U.S. citizens is important, then that's where your values are at. That's how they're manifested. So lastly, I just want to say to all of you, and I know there is an incredible number of advocates and activists who predate me by decades easily, who really set our path to doing what's right and fighting for the marginalized and not asking for handouts, asking for equity, just equity, doing what's right by our fellow man and woman, and making sure that we give our children everything that they deserve: dignity, respect, protections, and real opportunities to succeed. And I believe that we can have a better future, because we deserve a better future, and we want a better future, and we have to fight for a better future. Because if you don't fight for a better future, the free market forces unto themselves will never correct the inequities that exist today. If that were the fact, they would have been corrected long ago. Since the 60s, when the fight for voting rights, civil rights, and dealing with the racial strife that tore the country apart back in the 60s and during the Vietnam War. Well, I would submit to each and every one of you that we have a president who makes Richard Nixon look like a choir boy in comparison. So that's why the issue that we care deeply about, but with invisible children who are visible to each and every one of us, and we'll never lose sight on you. I want you to be empowered. I want you to get politicized. I want you to say that I'm tired of this. I want to stand up and have a voice. Well, the fact that you participated in this documentary already tells me that you're becoming organizers. And you guys are already politicized. And perhaps you'll be our next voice.
That's right.
You'll be our next voice as a city council woman, as an assembly woman, as a state senator. So to each and every one of you, I want to say, God, President. To each and every one of you, I want to say, God bless each and every one of you, not the atheists in the room. So, I hope you have a wonderful evening and really enjoy the documentary. And I'm looking, I won't be here unfortunately, but I know a lot of folks are looking forward to all the beautiful poetry. So with that, God bless. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bell that was given to my granddaughter. She's, oops, it's upside down. That's very funny. Okay, so is everyone listening? We're going to do some poetry. Okay. Okay, you ready? Okay, ready, Ozzy? Dear human, you've got it all wrong. You didn't come here to master unconditional love. That is where you came from and where you will return. You came here to learn personal love, universal love, messy love, sweaty love, crazy love, broken love, whole love, infused with divinity. Live through the grace of stumbling, demonstrated through the beauty of messing up often. You didn't come here to be perfect. You already are. You came here to be gorgeously human, flawed and fabulous, and then rise again into paradise. Ruby, and all of her, she has 5 siblings, so Ruby is going to be reciting a beautiful poem, and it is, what page? 15. 15, I think I have this memorized. It is. And the poem, I'm going to say the name because it's very hard to say the author. The name of the poem is Holy Spirit, and it's called Hildegard de Bingen. Hildegard de Bingen? Yes. And so, here it is, sweetie. You're going to speak up. Can you read it? Yeah. Holy Spirit.
Holy Spirit, giving life to all life, moving all creatures, root of all things, washing them clean, wiping out their mistakes, healing their wounds. You are our true life. Luminous, wonderful, awakening the heart from its ancient sleep.
So now we have a poem by Artiste, but he's not here. And we have one for Serenity, and she's not here. However, we have many more. So Leslie, the oldest child of the family with the 5 siblings, and Linda, we're going to introduce in a few. Where is Linda? Well, anyway. Controlling Ozzy. Oh, she's controlling Ozzy. Aha. So,
Very good job.
wait, does it say 15 for you? Okay, no, you're fine. What, no, that's, yeah, you're 15. No, you're 15. She read page 5, right?
No, I read page 15.
Oh, that's so funny. They know more than I do. I've only had 3 sips of wine, swear to God. Ask that woman right over there. So, what is the page we're looking for? 5. No, but yours wasn't 5, but here it is, 5. Leslie, okay, this is one of my, but it's here. This is one of my favorite poems. I'm sure many of you have heard of Mary Oliver. Have you heard of her? Yes, everyone, she is the best. Randy, certainly Gail, she is our favorite, one of our favorites in Topanga. There's many people here from Topanga. And this is called Wild Geese by Mary Oliver.
You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert, repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscape, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese high in the clean blue air are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things.
That's just an amazing sample of Mary Oliver. I encourage all of you to get her books. I have many, and they really are incredibly deep, profound, sensuous, everything you can think of, psychologically oriented, spiritual, etc. They're pretty amazing, environmentally conscious, and many of us in Topanga love reading out loud to each other Mary Oliver's poems. We have 2 short ones left, and actually this one's very short because we want to include every child, and it's called The Peace of Wild Things, and then we're going to hear from Jenny and the wonderful group, and we're all going to dance. So here it is, by Precious.
Go, Tiki!
Go! No, you have to put your hands on the mic on your... No, she is.
When despair of the world grows in me, and I wake up in the night and the least sounds in fear of what my life and my children live by may be, I go and lie down with the woods drake, rest in his beauty of the water and the great heron's feet. I come in the peace of wild things will do next, tax their life for though of grief, I come into the presence of the still water, and I feel above me the day's blind stars waiting with their light for a time. I rest in the grace of the world, and I'm free.
This is not. I'm so glad you're sitting here. Make him blow. Make him drinking. Never make it rain.
Everyone's included here. Remember, we are inclusive in this
You was right, you were.
Yes, you were wild ones.
Yeah, exactly. That's compensation for,
Don't tame you.
Don't let them tame you. Isadora Duncan, you were wild ones. Don't let them tame you. Woo! This is the year of the empowered women, right? Right, Megan? Empowers wild women sometimes. Our last one is
oh, Judy, I'm so glad you're free. Really had to blow a lot of steam on this one. Her ex-husband is not here. The guy who did the cinematography, he's not here. Her daughter's not here. Nobody wanted to show up. It's Connie, Wally, and me. We're the only ones.
You need to be quiet now.
She had twins.
A little closer.
I fit in.
I had my son on January 23rd.
When you were born Stonehouse.
And then it just kind of.
And now, we are going to see, where is Andy? Andy?
We'll find him in a minute. He probably looks like
We're
you.
going to see the trailer, which we've all been waiting for.
Being an actor and a singer, like Sabrina Carpenter, Sophia Carson, Ariana Grande, like all those famous people. Still not working that much. They cut me down to like 5-10 hours a week. Come on. I want to be a pro skater, skate around the world so people know me.
It's just about having $6,000 to move into a place at one time. It's kind of hard to do.
I asked my daddy if I could be in the gymnastics, and my other sister's in dance class.
So let's just say, an example, right? That is a 3-bedroom and they're aiming at 2,500?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I make 1,600, how's that work?
Los Angeles County is the homeless capital of the entire nation. We have an estimated 58,000 individuals countywide who count themselves as homeless.
There's about 8,100 families.
The three reasons that there's an increase in homelessness in Los Angeles is housing affordability, and poverty.
I haven't had my own room for a pretty long time. It's just horrible.
So I try to make them feel like we're having fun. They're camping at the time. They've always never looked down on people that were intense.
My dad didn't let me go out the yard because it's too much fast people around the neighborhood. They're like gang people.
So how do you pay rent and all that stuff?
I'm almost a month behind. $800. Oh, I just got turned off. It was due yesterday.
So your bill was due yesterday?
Yeah.
And you didn't get to pay it?
No.
We don't have enough space for our stuff, and we're too many people, and we need more beds.
We need to put a roof over their heads. We need to keep them safe.
Now think a second. This is a tale of two cities like none other. So at a time when our entire skyline is full of booms, there's also the rise of the encampments.
Rent in LA is outrageous, and then you add on there for credit and eviction, 5 kids.
My girls are great. They don't deserve this, but I think nobody should deserve this.
The stressors of a crisis situation on any child is difficult, and then you add the unknown on top of that, and I think that's a really difficult dynamic for children to understand.
That's why she has a therapist. She isolates herself from people. In school, she don't talk to nobody. She stays away from kids.
And this is why it behooves us collectively that we really work together. Let's give these children, these homeless men and women, a real roof over their head, safe surroundings, and children continuity and stability, and a pathway to a better life.
Because when your child comes to you and tells you, Mom, are we going to live like this forever? It's heartbreaking. And if they come at you at nighttime and say, are we going to live in the streets again? How does a mom feel? It breaks your heart. It breaks your heart.
Okay, we are now going to hear from Selena Martinez, and then Kennedy and I are doing the pitch. We're doing the pitch, we've seen the trailer, and thank you so much, all of the families that are here.
While we're doing that, Dennis Harris carried out his equipment. Are we done with the projector?
Yes, we are. I am. Selena, it's time for you to get up now.
So are you?
Yeah.
Make sure the switch is on.
If she's stressed, that's all that.
Listen, wait, we have to ring the bell now. She's speaking. Let's, quiet, thank you.
I just want to say that this, ever since 4 years ago when I was just a shy little kid like on that screen, I didn't know much about poverty or homeless kids. I thought it would get better. That was the first time where I saw all my stuff out of my house when I was with my friend, and we were just outside and I just saw all my stuff out of the house and I didn't know what to do. Then we went into that motel and I had no idea what was happening as a kid. You don't know the consequences, you don't know what happens, you don't know anything about drugs, you don't know anything about prostitution, poverty, homelessness, you don't know anything about that. You're still an innocent child, you still have your innocence. But then things started to procrastinate and it became more serious. I remember when I showed Mariana around, and when I started doing this film, I actually started to feel hope that it was gonna get better because your voice is gonna be out here, it's gonna be heard. People are gonna start to take this more seriously. It's gonna make a change. And I think this film has helped me, give me hope, and this will get better. Even though it's been 4 years, I still have hope that everything will just get better because now our voices will be heard. We will be more outspoken. I truly believe this film will change things and change how people see their perspectives on things and how people don't choose to live this. And I hope that kids won't feel ashamed to tell people, oh yeah, I live in a motel, oh yeah, I live in the shelter, so what? It's not my choice, I'm still a human, I'm still a human being. You don't have to see me as gross, ugly, or anything else. You don't have to see me as this. Who cares? And I remember when I lived in that motel, my friend Juan, he lived like there was a window and his house was on the other side, so I couldn't really hide it. I remember him just talking to me like a normal kid. He didn't treat me any differently because I lived in a motel. We would just play outside and watch video games. Like, he would treat me like a normal kid.
All right, Ron.
And he still agreed to be my friend, which was awesome. And I remember our last shoot, I remember in my last school that I was at, someone saw the trailer clip on a website, and someone figured it out and showed it to the whole school. And I remember when our last shoot with Mariana, I was all like, forget this. Everyone's gonna figure this out. Like, it's gonna be a whole movie. Like, if I'm gonna be a voice for this and I'm gonna be outspoken, and if I'm gonna preach for this, I can't be a hypocrite and shove it all in and hide it. I have to speak it out. So what I did was I basically told everyone, yeah, I live in a motel, who cares? Who cares? I'm still a kid. I'm still a human being. Who cares? So I told everyone, and everyone didn't seem to mind. They still treat me like a normal kid, which I still don't understand. Well, I understand the shame and the humiliation, but even if you tell your friends or your best friend or your boyfriend, who cares if you tell anyone? People should still see you the same just because of what kind of roof you have over your head, or even if you don't have a roof, you're still a human being. You shouldn't be treated like trash or thrown out to the street. So I just want to say thank you to Mariana and everybody that has made this film possible, to our voices to be heard, and for me to have hope in this cause and this community that will get better. Thank you.
Selena.
Whoa, can we have the lights a little lighter, right?
I just want to follow up to say something to Selena. We saw each other 2 years ago, right? And you came back to watch the show that I was in and be in the audience. And I could tell you were so excited to be in the audience and be in this sort of live show. And I'm so thrilled to see it reversed and be in your audience, to see you speak. That was a thrill. Thank you. That was worth everything. Okay, so we've all stayed to this point. You have now seen this beautiful trailer. It is very beautiful cinematography. And we've met these children and seen their families. Mariana, you mustn't talk when people are speaking. There, that works. Okay.
Thanks, Sandoval.
I want to praise you in this film. And I know that it's taking a while to finish, and I know that the children are growing. Children don't wait. When something starts 3 years ago, then those 3 years are a lifetime in every child's life. People forget this all the time. Children really change. However, sadly, this situation has not changed. Generations now have grown up homeless in Southern California and the streets of Los Angeles. I'm in the Valley and I'm seeing these enormous apartment buildings going up. And I know that they'll be market rate. And that actually means at this point, wealthy people. People who have graduated from good colleges and they're just starting out and they're thrilled to get an apartment for $1,500, $2,000 a month, a studio. And I'm also seeing that downtown, there are all these cranes in the sky, and that's luxury. That's luxury housing. And this is for people who feel that the world is their oyster. They want to live in Paris some of the time. They'd like a little place in Los Angeles, if it's nice enough. They have a place in New York. Maybe they want to go to Chicago for a couple of sports games. You know, they want to have a place in Costa Rica that's ecological so that it doesn't hurt the environment. And that attitude that you have the whole world to travel in because you're alive on earth and it's beautiful. We agree that's true. But the attitude of privilege, that you can have it all, and to block out that children are growing up living these years that are lifetimes to them, and to us go by so quickly, and to not notice that this society needs to start taking care of our children. And it's so clear that some of us are born way above the high tide line. Even if the tide comes in and gets high, even a tidal wave ain't gonna affect us because we were born with extra stuff. And then some people are born at the low tide line. And even when the tide is low, you're right near there. When it's high tide, you're drowning. When it's a tsunami, you're swept away. And this is not the fault of people being born into these situations. We can take care of one another. The inequality has got to stop. I just want to thank everybody in this room for understanding that we're here because we want to care for you guys